Perfect. Thank you very much. So, hi everyone. My name is Elena, and I'm coming from Macedonia, working as the president of the organization Youth of Diverse Family, as Elizabeth already mentioned. And today it's my pleasure to speak about how and what we do to empower the children and youth from single and one-parent families in Macedonia, and also a little bit about the legal system and our recent analysis together with Bosnia and Serbia. So what is Youth of Diverse Families and what do we do? So basically we are a voluntary, professional and non-profit organization dedicated to young people. Our mission is, of course, to advance gender equality, sensitivity and the rights of youth, with a particular focus on children and adolescents from single and one-parent households. And our organization for the future envisions enhancing the capabilities of young individuals and integrating those from socially marginalized group into public life and youth policies, which are usually the children and youth coming from single and one-parent families, since they are mentioned in very little spheres of our life. So because me and the vice president come from single parent families, we decided that we want to embrace this and to make an organization which will continue working towards our rights and to help those other youth coming from the same kind of families to achieve their proper human rights that they have in Macedonia, because the institutional support can be challenging and difficult to reach. So we are here to help them in any way that we can. Okay. So this is a bit of a definition of single and one-parent families in Macedonia. We do have a definition by law for single-parent families, which refers to a situation when one and only one parent solely carries out all the parental rights and responsibilities for the child or the children. There are 5 reasons why this can happen for somebody to be a single parent regarding Macedonian law. Is that one parent is unknown, deceased, missing, incarcerated for over 3 years, or otherwise unable to fulfill their parental duties, either temporarily or permanently for valid reasons. And usually those valid reasons mostly are because there was a domestic violence case. So if there was a domestic violence, usually the parent cannot fulfill their rights, the one, of course. So in Macedonian law, single parents are acknowledged under the law of social protection, as stated in the official gazette. More or less, this is important. And one-parent families is something a bit different. So it's again one parent, but in this time it's characterized by a single parent living without a partner who is responsible for the upbringing and development of their child or children, such as in cases of divorced or unmarried parents. And although the legal system in Macedonia doesn't really approve and do not precisely define them by law, this term is gaining a lot of traction and attention in practice and also in public discourse. It's usually used by politicians and institutions, the social protection sector, and professionals, and civil society organizations such as us. But we believe and we are advocating for this term to become a definition by law, so it can simplify a lot of processes like identification at border crossings, college admissions, and obtaining ID photos. Because in Macedonia, in order to obtain your first ID photo, you need to be present there with both of your parents if they are alive. And imagine if somebody is not speaking to their father or mother, they have this kind of difficulties for obtaining an ID photo, an ID card. I must say that a notable example in our region of the Western Balkans is Republic of Croatia, which pioneered in legal definition of one-parent families. So they do have it by law, even if the parent is divorced or like unmarried, or they have adopted child and so on. They are recognized by law, which is the only country in the Western Balkans having such such a law. And let's talk a little bit about the rights of the single parents and their children. So they do have the right of social protection. They do have the right of educational support and a lot of healthcare services to be free. They do have the right of free legal and psychological assistance, but this is only in case of domestic violence. Um, they are included in a lot of public policies and programs, but if they are or not incorporated, we will see in the next slides. Um, Single parents with minimal wage have the opportunity to be exempted from kindergarten fees. So it's only for low-income single parents. But we are now advocating for this to become more wide and to be not only for the minimum wage, but also for any single parent. And our most famous, let's say, initiative, it's from Youth of Diverse Families, is that we succeeded in changing the law of universities, not of the whole country, but single parent families, the youth from single parent and families now pays half participation in their universities, the public ones. So it was a very big initiative. It took almost 5 years to change this. It's still not a law. We are getting there, but all the universities that are public agreed, all on different terms, but agreed to cut the participation in half for students coming from single parent families, not one parent, just single parent. But there is one university in Macedonia who decided to also include the one parent families, which was a big advancement. We cherish them every day because they have a lot of students coming from single and one parent families. And they are the only university in Macedonia who said, okay, one parent families are okay and we should support them, like we should do something about them. So we are very grateful to them. And of course, the private ones still did not agree to this initiative, but we hope we will get there. And then we have access to family pension under defined conditions. So this is after one of the parents is deceased, the children or the young person can receive a family pension until the age of 26. And it's basically until he is a student, he or she is a student. After that, it's cut off, but yeah, it's pretty good. As a person receiving it myself until I was a student, it was really good. So I completely like and approve of this law. And yeah, those are more or less the rights of single parents and their children or the young people. There are some more programs and policies, but I will talk more about it in the next slides. I wanted to talk a little bit about the financial challenges, like challenges in general, but mostly the problem in Macedonia is that most of the single parents do not have a university degree, and therefore they are not able to have a high paid job and to take good care of their family. So I always say this, the children start taking more and more responsibilities young. And this is like, we made a research for this. It's not like that I'm just thinking this, but it's really a problem, the financial insecurity in Macedonia, because even if they get a little bit more above the minimum wage, half and more of the rights are cut. So they are not allowed to take one-time support and so on if their salary is a little bit more than the minimum wage. And if there is like a family pension and so on, it's like impossible to get most of the rights. So the financial insecurity usually leads to people not working or working just for a minimal wage and so on. And it's really a big problem that we are trying to address somehow with the institutions to raise the bar for accessing the rights if there is more than minimal wage. I would say there is a limited access to services. Recently, thanks God, there was change a little bit to this. So we have a lot of organizations that are doing some things to help parents to reach those services more immediately, because by Macedonian law, most of them, when they are open to the public, when it's the open call, they last 10 to 15 days. And some of the parents do not have enough time to complete the whole documentation and bring it to the institution to provide them with this right. So it's really, really difficult. And we do have a lot of problems with this. We tried to prolong the deadline, we tried everything, but it's just not working at this moment. And now in the social protection ministry, there is a document that they can give you. It's just one-page document that addresses that you are a single parent. And it's much easier than collecting more of the documents. Then we do have challenges, the legal recognition, as I mentioned, for one-parent families. It's still not legally recognized by any law. They are having, of course, they do not receive any kind of support or service because they are not by law single-parent family, but one-parent family. And yeah, social marginalization, of course, it happens in the schools for the youth and the children. It happens in universities. It happens everywhere. We are trying to raise awareness with our organization, but I think we are still like at the beginning, and we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do to help them to raise awareness for the discrimination, the marginalization, and so on against the children and youth coming from single-parent families. And of course, the last one, but I think also very important, is the lack of targeted institutional support, which is like always a problem because they do, our institutions try to do something that would help the single parents, but what they lack is the like personalized and targeted approach, because not every single parent family is the same, obviously. Mothers and fathers, when they're single, they have different needs. And I think that sometimes our institutions are not very sensitive to the problems that are coming when you are from single parent family. So it's really like difficulty and a problem because they tend to just not care, let's say. But I hope this will change as I see that more and more people are satisfied with the services of the Social Protection Ministry. And now that ministry became like Ministry for Social Protection, Demographics, and Youth, which is a big progress since we only had an agency, so only a department for youth, and now it's a whole like ministry, it's part of the ministry, but it's just from this year. So let's hope that they will take more and more actions in the future. I want to talk and spend a little bit time on what solution and services and policies we have in Macedonia regarding single parent families and their children, so the young people like me. These are just few. I tried to put them all, but I think there are some few more. So the first one we have is the one-time financial assistance. This is in a case of a disaster, health issues, and also, for example, if one of the parents dies and then there is a need of funeral, and they give you this one-time financial assistance, which is very easy and fast to apply, so you can get it, but it's only once. Like it needs to be let's say only once, and people are usually applying when it's literally a disaster or case of a deceased parent and so on. They do receive it from their community where they live. So I would say this is a fast process and usually people get it. Then we have the guaranteed minimum assistance, which is income-based support. And this is for, depends on how many family members are there and how many, let's say, also, I mean, if there are one or two parents, how much are they earning and so on. And this is, let's say, around 50, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe somebody from Macedonia can correct me, but this is around 50 euros per month. And they get it every month. So unless they start earning more, and the social services are not included in this amount, they do get like 50 euros more per month with this guaranteed minimum assistance help. So I think this is also really good, but it's very difficult to reach, as this is not only for single parent, but it's for every socially marginalized group that is earning the minimum wage. So single parents are just maybe 10% of the people who are getting this guaranteed minimum assistance or support. Then we have social financial assistance. This is something very similar to guaranteed minimum assistance, but it's mostly for unemployed and low-income individuals. As I said, we have a lot of single parents who are unemployed or low income, so they do apply for this social protection and financial assistance. They get it also monthly, and this is also not included in if they are earning something. It's just a separate thing. I will tell you later on why this is important, and I'm mentioning it twice. And this is very good because they receive it also every month. It's a bit bigger than the guaranteed minimum assistance, like the amount of money is more. And yeah, people apply for this. They usually receive it. It's the country that pays, and they get it until they start earning more. Then we have, let's move on to the child or youth solution services and policies. So the first one is the child allowance, which is extra coefficient for single parents. So they have extra, they are above on the scale, they are above everyone else when it comes to having child allowance. This is for every child that you have in school until the age of 10, if I'm not mistaken, and they use this for school supplies, paying the school meals, and so on. So it's a very little amount, but still, let's say it helps a little bit the parents who are single and to have a little bit more financial resources to send the children to school and so on. So it gets like double as many children as you have. So if it's one, it's, let's say, 50 euros. If it's two, then it's 100. It's much less than that, but I'm just giving an example. So this is for child. And then we have education, which is something very, very similar also for the children that are in middle school. They receive it also on a monthly basis, and usually whoever receives child receives education as well. Then we have reimbursement for help or care from another person. If, for example, this is in a case when there is a single parent who takes care of their parent. Usually it's like this, but it doesn't have to mean that it's always this situation. So if, for example, a person has to take care of their relative parents, so on, all the time, and they cannot have another job, or they have like another part-time job, they usually receive reimbursement or financial assistance, let's say, that they give care to and from another person. So I think this is also really good for those who are staying at home and taking care of a person who is having a health issues, let's say. It can be their parent, it can be their children. It's always different situation. But I do think that this is one of the better things that are happening, but also very difficult to reach. Those are one of the things that it's almost impossible. But I've seen cases where, with our help and the help of the Macedonian Young Lawyers Association, they tend to help them with this, and they get their help. Then we have the disability allowance. So we have, in case there is a single parent with a child which has some kind of disability, they receive an allowance per month. Again, it's not a big amount, but they do have let's say a different allowance, and this is also allowed. Also, the parents of a child who has any kind of disability works only part-time in Macedonia, so they don't work like the full 8 to 10 hours, but it's just 4 or 5. And then the rest of the time they can use it for taking care of their children. It's usually like this, but I know cases where the parents have to work, and yeah, but they are allowed to get this allowance or financial support, and so on. And then we have health protection, which is only for specific vulnerable groups. They can also apply for this, and they receive like a free health support or some assistance as financial resources. So these are more or less the rights that we have. They are not too much. There are some few more maybe, but I would like to mention here one more. Um, oops. That are these are mostly for the children, so I kind of separated them. Those were for the parents, and these are mostly for the children. So first, when they start, it's exemption from kindergarten, as I already mentioned. Some of the neighborhood or communities, municipalities in Macedonia don't pay at all. So right now, my team is working on an initiative to let's say help every municipality and every single parent from every municipality not to pay for kindergarten, as we believe that it's a big cost per month. So our team just prepared an initiative which is now going to every municipality, and we are asking that they follow the example of one municipality in our capital city of Skopje, and another city where the single parents do not pay anything at all, not just exemption, but like not I mean not only the single parents that are from low income, but any single parent does not pay anything at all. So we just want to make this more wider initiative, and we do hope that they will accept it, but we will try and push our best. Uh, then, in case of death of one of the parent, as I already mentioned, we receive family pension, but it's really under set of criteria. Um, if and how much the parent was working while they were alive. This is one of the main criteria, and also this is the criteria of how much they will earn during this lifetime. And it's kind of since they will not be taking pension, it goes to the children, as I said, until the age of 26, and they receive it. I mean, until they are students. If they stop at high school, then the pension stops as well. We need to send every year a proof that our parent is alive, it's not remarried, and that we are still in school or at university. So this is how it works, and they then approve our pension, and they also pay us. So then we do have scholarship for high school and university students. Social categories get extra points, which includes the children of single parents. I have to thank my colleague Stanisha here, because he really takes care of all of these requests. Young people really have difficult time to find and apply for this scholarship, and he always helps them unconditionally every day, night and day. He's there to help them and to support them through this process. Either are they high school or university students, yeah, they now we have like the brochure, which is for single and one parent families, where all of this is explained. We explain which documents are needed, where do they need to bring it, and so on. It's also translated in English and together with COFASE, so we thank them for that. And now they find it much easier to apply for these scholarships, since they have exactly which document they need. They have where do they need to bring them and so on. So it's really easy, but because there are a lot of documents, of course, and now they get more and more help. Let's say there are different kinds of scholarships, but what we encourage them, most of our target group, to apply is for the social category, which is for single parents, children coming from single parent families and so on. Yeah, they do apply in this category. They usually get accepted. If there is some problem, we usually send to the Ministry of Science and Education a complaint, and they always like review the complaint and they tell us, okay, this is why we didn't give them this support, or this is why, okay, thank you for telling us that we did a mistake, we will fix it now. So this is usually how it works. For secondary and higher education, so for high school and university, we do have a public dormitory that is for free. So if you're coming from another city than Skopje, when you come to study to Skopje or another city where there is a university in Macedonia, you receive a public free dormitory. And this is like, it doesn't matter the income, it's just, yeah, you receive the help, and you can stay as long as you're studying, either high school, and then it's different for high school, different for university, but they kind of move you to the other one when you finish with high school. If you want to go to university, you're going to another public dormitory. So I think this is really good, but we usually have a lot of complaints, and usually people do not get accepted for silly reasons, and then we have to complain to the ministry again. Thank you, Stanisha, for doing this, because he's helping them or sending the complaints directly to the ministries. And yeah, it's a long process, but in the end it's worth it, because they do get the free public dormitory in most of the cases. Then what I really love about our country is that recently they came up with this decision to subsidize the student meals. So basically, every student receives on their card weekly amount of money, which are not too much, but I still think it's like good amount to subsidize their student meals. So they receive like money, and they can only spend it on like food. So nothing else is allowed. I mean, food and of course water, just anything they want, but nothing else, just that. So basically, I think it's really good, because some of them really like this idea. And imagine if somebody's coming from low income family, this is like really great for them, and they have more food and so on. But recently, if I may, I wanted to tell you one situation that happened, and why did I mention so many times before that the social services do not apply on how many, like, and the salary of the parent, they do not like overlap. So it's because recently, few of our students, I mean, from our organization, have this subsidized student meal. They just like have it as a right, and suddenly it was cut off by the Ministry of Education. Why? Because they receive a family pension. And you can imagine what happened in my head. I was like fuming because this happened, and there was a white smoke coming out of my head. It's because they counted the family pension as an income when it's a social income, and it's completely different. So they cannot do this. What we did is react immediately. So this was like 2 weeks ago, we immediately went to the ministry together with the biggest student platform and the Macedonian Association of Young Lawyers. And we immediately filed a complaint we called everybody that we could. We called the media, and we kind of did this pressure on them just for them to say it was just a mistake, and that they will fix it right away. But that was not true, that they tried to do something which is not okay, and then they tried to hide it by the fact that it was just a mistake. And that's why I say that young people should be on the table when the laws and the policies are made, not just when there is a mistake. So I'm always saying that I'm always giving our Ministry of Education, our Ministry of Social Protection recommendations, policies, new politics, and so on, and they barely listen. I mean, sometimes they invite us for meetings. We do have a good collaboration with most of them, but the problem is that they do not bring us on the table when the decisions are made, just when there is a mistake. So I hope that this will change in the future, and that we will be more able to be on the table when it comes to making decisions about us, especially me and my team when it comes to single parent families, and so on. Then all of the young people have legal aid if they need it. So if they need any kind of legal support, they have it, and it's for free if they come to us. So basically, we try to help them, as I said, to apply for these rights, and any other thing that they might have as a problem, we are there to help them. And then we have exemption from court costs. So if there is any court case going on, they do not pay anything, or they pay a little. And there is free psychological help from Designated Youth and Women's Association. Of course, there is the public psychological help that needs to be for free, but they are usually not so available. So young people usually go to these youth and women's associations, which we also have on the last page of our brochure. And we tend to always send them if they need it. Sometimes we have difficulties because most of them do not want to try, or they feel scared, but we always try and give them the contacts and the resources, the information for them, to push them to ask for help if needed, because let's face it, losing a parent or seeing your parents getting divorced for a child or a young people can be really stressful. And we've seen cases where they do get better through this psychological and help very fast. We also do support groups. Like I always like to, at least once a year, to collect all of my peers that are also all the volunteers, the members of the organization, to collect them together, and to talk about what's happening and why, um, let's say, what can we do to make it better? What do they want to do? What do they want to change? Do they have some initiative? And I really like this because we had it last year. We need to do it again this year. So we collected them all on a lunch and coffee, and we said, okay, now let's work. They were not expecting this, so I was like, can you please tell me everything that you don't like, that you think that should be changed, that you see as a discrimination towards you as a child or young people from single parent. And we did this amazing list of so many things. If they were repetitive, we put them in one page. And from this, we developed an initiatives that we sent to the designated institution. And we received answer after 1 year. So I don't even know what to say. The answer were not even answering to our needs, let's say. It was something completely different. It was very automatic. So we will try again this year, and again and again until we get there. So I really hope that at some point there will not even be the need of our organization. I mean, for the part of the organization where we provide these services, but just for hanging out and being together, being each other's support. but we are, I think, still a bit far from that in Macedonia. Um, and yeah, at the next point, I wanted to talk about what we did recently. So it's from this year. It's a comparative analysis between Macedonia, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina for single parents. And it's really great because we managed to collect me, Stanisha, which is the vice president of the organization, and then another people from single parents from Serbia and Bosnia, which I think was great. So what we did, we were like, what should we do? Let's do a comparative analysis and see what our countries are doing good, what are doing the same, and what is very much different, and what we can learn from each other. And we collected like this small group of people, of researchers, and what we did is that we sent an email to every institution that is somehow connected to single parents. So we basically sent maybe 100 emails altogether. Some of the institutions were not very responsive, so we had to wait a lot of time. Then we sent also information to the uh, statistics to get the statistics, how many single parents are there, and so on. But unfortunately, we do not have a statistics for the one-parent families nowhere in these three countries. So it's just the single-parent family by definition that I mentioned before, which it's a bit different in every country here. So what is the same? The same is that something I mentioned before. The same is that we do not have personalized and targeted support. We do not have I mean, in general, in the Western Balkans, let's say these 5 countries, we do not have enough resources to help the single parents. They are not included in all of the aspects of the institutionalized support, and like most of the things that are the same are not really good. So we try to do we did comparative analysis between all of them, and then, for example, Macedonia and Serbia, then Serbia and Bosnia, just to see if it's the same or different. And yeah, we noticed that most of the things are not very the same, even though we are pretty much similar countries when it comes to the legal system. So, for example, in Macedonia, I already told you the definition for single parent. In Serbia, it's pretty much the same. But in Bosnia, we have a different case. They count single parents only those who were from the war. So basically, single parents are the one that lost the partner during the war, and single parent families are those households, which I think it's yeah, it's a bit outdated, and we send them an emails with our recommendations, our analysis, and what they should do, and so on. So we hope that they will do something soon to change this fact. And then what else is different? For example, in Serbia, they have like until 7 years old. So as I mentioned before, in Macedonia, most of the policies start after they start school. So education allowance, child allowance, it's like when they start school, going to school. And some of the cases actually of child allowance, there are before they start like middle school, but most of them are after they started, except for the kindergarten exemption, which is also not in all of the neighborhoods, all of the municipalities. So basically, in Serbia, until the age of 7, they have more support from this part. But I would say in Bosnia, they have like the least of any kind of policies. Also because in Bosnia, they do not have that centralized approach because they are separated in 3 different communities. So it's the whole country is literally split in 3. So they need to centralize it more and do a better job in that, because right now all the policies are all over the place, and it's difficult for anyone to follow those. And also, what is very different, for example, in Macedonia, the thing that we managed to do with the half of participation for university students, it's also like very different from the other two countries. They do not have such a case. Again, in Bosnia, it's only if the parent was in war, or if they like unfortunately lost their life in the war. So only then they have like half participation, or they do not pay at all for the university. In Serbia, they have some strong, let's say, legal framework. We will see in the next few months how do they support it. But let's say Macedonia gives somehow is the best. I still don't know how, but has the legal system that it's like the strongest framework, but not very much in the execution part. So Serbia is more, let's say, in the execution part of the laws, they are more thorough, they are more following up in general. So yeah, every country has its good and bad sides. And what we can learn from each other, yeah, we learned a lot during this research. We learned from the people that we were researching with, we learned from each other, and we made this big list of recommendations for the institutions, which each of us sent, us from Macedonia send it in Macedonia, the people from Bosnia send it to Bosnia, and then the people from Serbia send it to the Serbian institutions. They send we send it in form of email, and also like a letter, recommended letter that they received. Some of them responded that they will take it into consideration. Let's see if that happens. And some of them said did not even respond. I mean, most of them were very open, but yeah, let's see if that happens. We sent a lot of recommendations, so from what we learned from each other, and there were about 10, which from which 3 were per country, like 3 for Macedonia, 3 for Serbia, and 3 for Bosnia, and then 1 was for all of them to as our recommendation, and so they can follow it. So we learned a lot from each other. We learned how the other countries function. I hope we will have honestly this opportunity to do it with a lot of more countries, to compare it with Macedonia, because in this way we learn a lot, we learn more, and we try to implement it. So recently we sent a request for interparliamentary group for single parents, which we hope it will happen very soon. It did exist before, but as so many things in Macedonia, it just disappeared out of nowhere. And we hope that we can change this and bring back this group. And we hope that we will have your support along the way, all of you, because it will be really important. And finally, the rights of the parents will be heard. And what I think it's really not interesting, but maybe food for thought, is why in this interparliamentary group, when it existed, there were all the female parliament members and just 1 male. So it was very confusing for me to see that, why only one of the men in the parliament cares about this. Why is only 1 guy, and then all of the rest, I mean, 1 man and all of the rest are women. For this interparliamentary group for single parents, it was very confusing for me to see that, because I thought that like also men will care. There are also single fathers, even though there are less number. They are there, they're present, we have them. And in Macedonia, the single mothers are around 26,000. Please, Tanisha, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are 9,000 fathers. So these are the numbers for people who have at least 1 child under the age of 25. So yeah, we did this. We also are planning to continue working together with this group to see what can happen. We already went on and shared this with a lot of medias as well. All the universities that they have some kind of program that is including the social protection and so on, like social work, university for like in Macedonia. We send it also to the faculty of for family studies, something like that. And they invited us actually to talk to their students and to tell them like what's happening in our world and what we are doing to make it better and so on. So yeah, it's really great. This analysis, it's also on the COFASE website, so you can read it if you're interested, to see what all of the things happened, and are we really the same in front of the law? Is Serbia mentioning at all single one parent family, sorry, and so on. So in Bosnia, this term doesn't even like it's not even mentioned. So from what we've found out, it's mostly in Macedonia and then Serbia and then Bosnia. And then yeah, we definitely did a recommendation for Bosnia that they have to do a more centralized approach, so all of the people living there can yeah have less troubles in accessing the institutional support. So I think this was really important to mention because yeah, it's the Balkans. Nobody usually talks about them, but I believe that we can make a change, and it's up to us, up to the young people, um, to push this forward and to try our best to help the single and one parent families. I'm really happy that this interparliamentary group will begin, because we will have the opportunity also to again present the one parent initiative to be in the law by definition, and also our very important initiative for a public alimony fund, which will we want to happen. So we want it to happen because basically the single parent, like one parent families, like divorced parents in Macedonia, they have also a lot of problems with one of the parent not paying the alimony for the child. So we wanted to make this like a public alimony fund, and then the state to pay them, to pay the parents. And if the other parent does not pay this amount, then they can legally make a court case and just go against them, and the child will not suffer in between in the process. So our two initiatives, three initiatives, let's say, that we are working on right now, it's of course our famous initiative for health participation to be recognized as a law. This we are doing now, and we plan to be our future plan as long as it's needed. So we
Can you
plan.
remind us, Eleanor, what is half participation again?
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. So basically, we noticed when and I will tell you the whole story now since you asked me.
Well, not the whole, because we are going to ask our colleaagues for reflections, but
Yeah,
just a
okay.
clarification.
Yeah. These initiatives began in 2017. I mean, it began in 2020, but in 2017, it magically disappeared from our official gazette. So it was a law before that children, young people, especially from single parent families, do not pay the full participation on the public universities. So public
Ah,
universities in
yes.
Macedonia are 200 euros if you're per semester. If you are young people from single parent, you pay 100.
Okay, so
So
it's the education allowance. Okay, thanks for the
yeah,
clarification.
yeah, basically this happened, and yeah, it was and then it disappeared, just disappeared out of the, there was nothing to support why did it disappear. And we noticed that as an organization, and we decided to make it our mission to help it bring it back. We still did not succeed that, because basically all the institutions are not helping us. But what we succeeded to do, and I think it's also really big, is to make all the universities that are public in Macedonia to incorporate it in their law, so in their, yeah, like university codex, to be like this to happen. So it happened, and we now want want it to be a law, but it's functioning, and people are paying half participation if they're coming from single parent family. So yeah, but still we do not have this for one parent family, and it's not a law. So we are pursuing this. And as I mentioned before, there is only one university that allowed as well single, like one parent families to I mean the youth, the young people coming from one parent families to pay half participation of what they usually pay. So this is our biggest initiative. We are mostly recognized by this. When somebody mentions this, they connect us directly, the people behind it. So we are still doing this. We are still fighting, but 5 years have already passed, and I certainly hope that this will be the year when we will finally get this. And it will be a law. So before the start of the next university year, so from September or October, depends which university, it will be by law that all of them have to pay just half. Because right now, some of the universities accepted this, but they said, okay, but only 2 students. And there are 10 in that class that are coming from single parent. So we are like, this is really discrimination and it's not okay. So what we did, because this happens a lot, we did a pay a semester initiative, which is happening right now. They can apply to this like Google Drive form that we did, and they apply for a semester to be paid by a local company in Macedonia or by a person that wants, like individual that wants to support them during the studies. We also have like, let's say if somebody is studying medicine, we found the doctors who want to support them. If somebody is studying, I don't know, IT, we saw the people from the student assemblies organizing to help them to pay this semester from that student assembly. So it's great. Like you have no idea how the young people have collected, and this pay a semester initiative, I hope like it will continue to work until we have the recognized law for half participation. And the third initiative that we are working on right now, it's lowering the costs for middle school students for the meals while they're in school. So basically what we did is a research with the parents which have kids under 10, the age of 10 in Macedonia. What are your biggest problem and like what is the most costly for you? What do you think like at least 90% of them responded that the middle school meals, like the meals they have during the day, are super expensive. And if they have like 2 children under the age of 10, it's even more expensive, of course. And there is nothing that supports them in this part. So what we did is made an initiative which will go today actually to all the institutions, to all the public schools, to help them to lower the costs for children coming from single and one parent families, because they're truly a lot of money, and the parents are let's say struggling in this part. And I really hope it will work. We are sending it today, so please wish us luck that this will work. And yeah, I mean, we will send it to every municipality and every public school. We will be going door to door, like literally physically there, because they don't open their emails. And we will try to make it as soon as possible for them, at least. Not like I think it's impossible to cut the whole cost, but at least to lower the cost for the meals in the schools, in the middle schools. So I think it's a great initiative as well. But again, we needed to ask in order to know what is the problem. And I'm really proud of my team that is constantly working on doing this, like, and getting our community and our laws better. These are some of our plans, future plans, and what we're doing right now. There will be a lot of more coming up, so make sure to follow us and to share with us if you have some thoughts, and if you think that there is something you did in your country that can help us, as we are still very much developing country, and we still have a lot to learn, but I hope we will get there eventually. Yeah. Thank you.